Hello again, guys, and welcome back again to another design takeover. So we're back again in r/UI design, and there's a thread here entitled "What's wrong with my design?" So this is an illustration design for a mobile application, and you can see here that it is for meditation. Quick overview. I do here in design takeover is I take your designs and try to redesign it and give you some tips on how to do it and make it better. Let's just roll the video process of it, and I'm gonna talk over it. What are the needed things that you need to do to improve your design? God, I'm having a cold right now. I'm not feeling well, but let's jump into it. So we're using Adobe Illustrator for this one because there's a lot of illustrations that we'll be using. First, we're gonna get a grid. This site, we're designing in iPhone X, and we're just gonna download the Illustrator file for this grid. The next thing is we're gonna have some free illustrations from freepik.com. Be sure to have the vector category checked on the right side so that you will have Illustrator and EPS files that you can edit manually. The other thing are the icons. If you're having trouble with the icons, you can go to flaticon.com. Freepik and Flaticon are from the same company and the same founders. So if you want some good icons and good illustrations, you can go here to these two sites. And we need some fonts from Google Fonts. And lastly, some inspirations from Dribble. And I also have a screenshot of a real app, which is a free latex app. This is a calisthenics app program, so that I have a basis on real life applications. So first I have placed the grid. All the elements should fall directly on the grid. Right now I'm just picking colors from the illustration that I like, and these would be the colors that I will use throughout the design to have some form of unity on it. Keep in mind that I will be editing these colors also on the fly. So now I'm starting on the first illustration that will be shown when opening the application. I'm thinking that all the illustrations should be simple, flat, less shadows, less lines, and I will try to keep the color palettes the same all throughout. So if you want to know the font for the logo is called LilyScript 1, and the font for the body is called Nunito. All of them are found on Google Fonts. So on the first screen, everything is centered. I'm keeping in mind that the illustration should be bigger than the whole font section with the button. I'm gonna later refine this, and I'm gonna move now to the dashboard screen. So if you know Illustrator, this workflow is fairly fast if you already have stock illustrations on hand. So basically you're just color picking the colors that you want and just changing the parts, like the faces, the nose, the backgrounds, the scene, to match everything and keep it unified. So here I'm trying out some colors that would be interesting to add to the design. But at the end, I'm gonna change it anyway. So the format I'm looking for on this dashboard page is, like on your design, the first top half would be the feature workout or feature yoga. And then under that would be the new releases. And then under that would be some recommendations of some program. And then some navigation buttons on the footer. But as you can see on the design process, I'm experimenting and changing some stuffs, what I think would look good. I'm also copying the reference and trying it out to see if it looked good. So there's a fair bit of trial and error, and along that, I'm editing the illustrations to match the color palette. As you can see here, the containers, I try to make the containers, the sides of them, fall directly onto the grid. And also I'm not going over the margin of 40 pixels on the sides. I'm ensuring that all things are aligned properly relatively to the grid. So along the way, I'm also thinking about the content. What text would I put in here? So I think the idea would be the type of yoga. The title of it would be the type of yoga. Then the description of the yoga, what it is for. And below it, the time that would be needed to complete it and the difficulty level. You can see the design on the dashboard actually is very asymmetrical. So we have a full width on the top, and then we have two contents side by side. Then on the bottom, we have a huge content nearing full width. I try to design it this way to keep the user interested for the first half of the screen. And now we're taking all the icons. So the first icon that I am suggesting is the explore icon. And the second would be the music or the tunes icon. I think that's from your design. I think you want to incorporate music on the meditation or the workout. And the last icon would be the meditate icon. And it's from your design also. So these icons came from flat icon. I'm just altering a bit the exploration icon so that it would match all the icons, because all the icons here are more or less solid icons, not line or stroke icons. So now I'm clipping the whole design for me to check if something is overflowing or bleeding. And then this is the final part where I refine all the colors. So basically I group the colors with number 1, the background colors, number 2, the accent colors, and number 3, the base colors. So the background colors are the things that you will use always on the background. And the accents are the things that you would use on the foreground for the illustrations. Or if you have graphs here, you can use the accents there. And then the base colors, or you can say it as the main colors of the application. These are the colors that are found on the text and the logo, and sometimes alongside with the accent colors. So on the final product, you can see that I have simplified the background. All of them now are on the light blue colors, and the accents are sprinkled around alongside with the base colors. Also, I try to keep in mind to not use high chroma colors often, like the purple and also the orange of this thing. So those colors are actually on high saturations, and I just use it sparingly so it will not overpower the illustration. So you have taken the designs into Photoshop so that you could better understand the concept of the colors. So there's a concept in painting that is very easy to understand but very difficult to do. The concept is group your darks together with the darks and group your lights together with the lights. So it is dark with darks, lights with lights. This is a fairly easy concept, but it is hard to do every time. And this also applies on digital illustration and also vector illustrations and whatever kind of artwork you're doing. So if you take all of this into a grayscale, you can see that in my design that this thing is actually grouped together. All the lights are grouped together here, here, and then this thing pops out because I know that's the foreground, so I want it to pop out, right? On this side also, same thing happens. The lights are on the back, there you go, and the darks are on the foreground. Same thing, same concept also. This thing is light, this thing is light, this thing is also light. Same on this one. It has a light background, and the darks are all sprinkled in the foreground. It has a light background, and the darks sprinkled in the foreground. Light background, foreground dark. Light background, foreground dark. So that's an easy concept to remember. Always group your lights together and your darks together. And here on your design, it mixes. It mixes every time. So here on the side, you have a good background that is light, and then it jumps into. So if you put white on the dark background here, like this one, so it seems like it is drilling down on it. So it's like creating a hole on it. So you better just have it grouped. So make this actually white also, and make this actually white also, so that it will not look like there's something put on hold on it. Also with this one, so as I said before, you need to be consistent with your background. So on this background, on this ones, you make it a little bit lighter, like what I did here. Like this one, this is correct way to do it, right? It's actually a correct way to do it, but as you can see, there's another caveat. It is not all answerable by the grayscale, the grayscale thing, because when you apply color, it seems like it's not matching, right? So it is another huge topic about color harmony, triads, and contemporary. If you want to make it easier, you just need to take a illustration and then just copy all the colors there and then use it all around, same way as I did here, because it will take a long time to learn about color theory. And let's review. If you want your illustrations to look good, you need to group your darks to the darks and your whites to your whites, so you don't need to have drastic jumps in color unless you want to put an emphasis on it, like on this one. This is a drastic jump on color. So this background is very, very, very dark, and then I've jumped here because I want the user to see here that this is actually a thing. And also on this one, I want also the user to see here. There's a drastic contrast jump to a fairly dark background and to this thing, because I want the user to see this, right? And also on this one, this is a little gray, and then we go to full black and then full black because I want the user to see that. So use it on the things that you want the user to see rather than make holes on your illustrations like this one. You don't want to do it like that. This one is actually good. The get started thing. And also on this one is also actually good. But you need to remember that to be consistent on your backgrounds and your colors. So you get the colors from the stock illustrations and then you sprinkle it all around, and remember to be consistent on it. Okay, so I hope this is informative to you. Be sure to leave a like if you like this video. It has been informative, and subscribe for other videos and tutorials like this ones on my channel. So I hope you have a good day and have a good one.